Hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're doing What If Deku Had Nightmares Part 21. Let's get into the story. Now, after the experience that Eli is going through right now, he finally awakens. Looking over to Zuko and just not say anything. He's speechless. Zuko just sits right back on, his bed, the bed, and just, it's looking through his phone until Ida finally says something to break the silence. And he asks, who was doing all of this? That's the only question he have out of everything. The most important one. Zuko looks over to him, Todoroki, and said, my dear old parents. Which shocked them both. Well, not Todoroki as much, but Ida, he lived a very good lifestyle. His parents were all happy and joyful. His brother was helpful. But he never thought something like that would ever happen. And really does happen. And a classmate, no less. A friend has gone through something like that, seemingly acting normal, as if that is normal. And Todoroki speaks up, both? And Zuko said yes, both. Which now Todoroki kind of feels even worse. Shit. He can see like his father, but his mother too. Todoroki, the mindset. If Endeavor and Ray both abuse him, that he can even feel the intense feelings from all of that. Zuko said, well, that's enough of the gloomy shit. I'm gonna go back to my agencies. See ya. As he leaves, they are both still sitting in the room, dead silence, thinking how he is still like this. Moving on to the next scene, Zuko found Gran Torino and started training with more of his quirk, up to the point where he is able to do complete control of, one for all throughout his whole body, where it's almost second nature. Moving on to the next scene, everybody, basically, the policemen are doing a cover story that Stain was taken down with Endeavor and the help of these three. I know it's something different in canon, but ow, why? Ow, that hurt. Oh, don't know what that was. Anyway, everybody in their basically class 1A, why is this? Overheard the news on what has happened. It shows there's some injuries, and Araka got worried, so she called Zuko. Zuko picked up the phone and answered, hello. And she asked him if he's okay. she just saw the news and all of this other stuff. Zuko replies that he's fine. It's no big deal. But, after all of this internship, want to go on another date? Which Uraraka was really happy about, because the last one, they talked for hours and hours, no end, about everything. And she really wants to go again. It was the first date she ever gone to, and almost exactly like in the movies. Moving on to another scene. They're back in school. Everybody is in their classroom, the very classroom, in their seats, talking about their internships and all of this other stuff. They asked Ida, Todoroki about theirs, and they say a few things, but they're hesitant about another part. They're still trying to get over or adjust to these huge burden from Izuku. Now, Zero and Denki see how they're acting, and they ask the question, did Izuku do something? And they kind of, Todoroki says nothing. He just doesn't say anything. But Ida said, that's for him to answer. Which Zuko, Zero and Denki ask Zuko, what happened to them? Which Zuko kind of explained that he just accidentally used his power on Ida and Todoroki. Which they are both, whoa, really? And they're still, talking to you. And Zuko said, yeah, I think my quirk is changing. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, now everything goes as in canon, all the way to the point where All Might comes by and tells everybody that they're going to have a race. They get there to the area, and everybody's talking about how it's going to go. Ida is still still hesitant and kind of coming in and out of, paying attention to anything. On a daydream, basically. So, Zuko kind of chip his shoulder and ask him, it's okay. Tell him it's okay. As Ida said, but it's not okay. No one is doing anything about it, but you're acting as if it's normal. And Zuko said, it is normal. To me. I now know it's not. Can you just drop it? I'm starting to regret of giving you the knowledge of my past. Which Ida he's trying. And he tells Zuko that he's trying to be normal as possible. Zuko said, alright, I guess that's the best you can do. As he's back to his area, and All Might explains about the rules and how this basically is gonna teach you about. As he said, 3, 2, 1, go. Everybody start running. The class itself is watching the race, and they were all just betting or saying that Ida or Zero's gonna win, or maybe Mina. And Uraraka says, but how about Zuko? And they say these things that he's not very fast, I mean, he might break his bones at the very first take he used his quirk. And they see a flash of lightning going through. And they all go amazed that it's Zuko flying through the air with lightning and a black suit on. Now, all of this other stuff happens during in canon, basically in canon, and he slips, falls. Some people chuckle, even himself, even Zuko kind of chuckled that he actually slipped on something so stupid in the most cartoon way ever, which gave a laugh to almost everybody in the whole class in the classroom. But everybody else in the race finished, and Zuko got there in third place. Now, after all of that, and everybody else has done theirs, it's end of the day, and Zuko is walking right next to Uraraka, and they're getting very close. And Zuko hold out his hand, which Uraraka was waiting for, grabbed onto it, and walked along into the sunset. God, yeah. They went on their date. Now, on their little date, they have food. They had some entertainment, and they were talking throughout the whole time, continuing all the other conversation they had, and somewhat have ended basically knowing everything. Goddamn car is so fucking slow. Sorry, this car is just going way under the speed limit. Alright, back onto it. It goes all good and well, until Zuko noticed a figure, a somewhat shallow, a silhouette of a person. And this kind of features is very hard to copy. At that moment, Uraraka saw him kind of get scared for the first time, and she kind of like snaps in front of his finger, snaps in front of his face. Wow, this guy's just going slow. There's no passing lane, so I can't go around. Great. But anyway, Zuko finally shocked himself awake. Well, attention to Uraraka and said, "Oh, yeah. What were you asking?" Which Uraraka said, I was asking about your parents. How are they doing?" And Zuko said, "Oh, yeah." As he tapped his fingers on the table and tried to think of something, said, "Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm adopted." Which Uraraka said, "Oh, so your parents now, they're like been with you from when you were a baby or something?" And Zuko said, "Oh, it's more," as he rubbed the back of his neck and said, "Well, it's more like Uraraka first time seeing Zuko actually hesitating on answering a question. So she kind of asked him if this is a okay question. If it's not comfortable, we can like do something else." And Zuko said, yeah. the truth is, I have my father. He took care of me at a certain age, and it changed my life for the better. Let's leave it at that. Which gave a sour note for the date. But when they were finally leaving, Zuko walking her to her house, and leaving at the point where she was knocking on the door. They didn't do anything rash. They just gave a hug to each other. As she was walking into her house, and she was warmly welcomed by her parents, she gave a somewhat of a sour note. And, well, her parents asked what's going on. Did something happen? And who was that boy? She answered most of it, but she also says that he's adopted. Why does that make me feel sad? Which they don't know how to answer, because that's the first time she talked about her boyfriend, and that's the first thing they hear. They try to help her out, or even give her good reasons on why this might be, but none of it is good enough. She wants to know herself from Zuko. And that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.